Okay. Our next section of the offer has to do with identifying the property that's being purchased and listing the purchase price and deposit. So it's really important when you're purchasing real estate that you've identified the property correctly. Take the time to look at the current deed, see if there are any additional parcels. Sometimes property can be identified by street address, but there may be additional parcels that are adjacent to that particular address that are supposed to be going with the property that may not necessarily be represented just by that street address. In fact, it's possible that an adjacent property has a different street address. So we want to make sure that we're including all of the property that we intend to buy and properly identify it. The second section in this particular um, video has to do with the purchase price. So we want to make sure that you've listed the purchase price correctly, and you've also decided on the deposit. The deposit shows how strong your offer is in one sense, because that is the amount that you would lose if you were to walk away for no good reason. That's considered the liquidated damages that the seller would be entitled to for having gone under contract with you and taken their property off the market for the period of time that you're involved in the transaction before the transaction falls through. So just really quickly on that note, you would only lose your deposit if you fail to go through with the transaction subject to other provisions of this contract. So there may be other contingencies that you're willing to deliver that deposit, provided that, for example, the house inspects properly or that you are able to obtain your mortgage. Sometimes people are buying and selling at the same time. So they'll place the deposit, but an additional provision might be subject to us selling our own home in order to have the proceeds necessary to complete the purchase of this home. So those are all things that you have to consider in this section carefully, is that you've properly identified the property and that your purchase price and deposit are correctly listed here.